Second thing in the sales process, and I'm just covering high level here today, is really you want to start to investigate the seller and see, why are they selling this house? Why are they calling you? I mean, there's a lot of people trying to buy houses. Why are they speaking with us? So what I always love to say after that is, Mr. Seller, tell me a little bit about the property and how come you want to consider selling the house? I don't really care about the condition of the property. I mean, that's easy to find out. I'm like, how come you want to sell this thing? And I love to start with this. This is a little nugget here. You always want to compliment the house or compliment the situation. Like if the house is a total junk box, you don't have to be, oh, it's a beautiful house. How come you want to sell? Like we know why they want to sell because it's a POS. So if it's a really bad house, you want to say like, okay, you've owned the house for so long. How come you want to sell now? So you want to compliment the property or the scenario and then ask like out of curiosity, how come you want to sell this thing? What's the reason you're considering getting rid of this thing? And you want to get that reason out right away. Okay, I'm selling because of X. And now as we're talking, we're seeing how many boxes. Oh, well, I inherited this property and, it's been in probate forever. And, my siblings and I are fighting about it. And, whatever the case is. So we know why they're selling. They inherited the property. So there's a clear, definitive reason on why they're selling. Generally, when they start talking about why they're selling the house, they're going to start explaining to you that the house is beat up. Yeah, it's been vacant it's vacant. Boom, check that box off. Now we got 2 out of 6 boxes. We got a pretty good lead so far. It's vacant. I want to get rid of it right away. Oh, I want to get rid of it right away. Boom. What's right away look like to you? Oh, as soon as possible. Month, 2 months. Does that sound good? Okay, cool. Now we got 3 boxes. And what we're doing is the seller is talking. And as the seller's talking, we're gathering all this information. And we're just kind of building a case here to present a decent offer to them at the end of the day. Okay, I want to sell it quickly. I want to, I inherited the property. It's vacant. Well, how's the condition? Well, yeah, it's pretty beat up. It's been, sitting vacant for, 4 months and, the utilities aren't running in the process. So now we got a vacant property they inherited, needs work. We got a good timeline. And now we got 4 out of 6 boxes and we're on the phone for 5 minutes. So now we have a pretty good lead here. So you keep investigating, get their reasons out. And then at this point, this is where, you can build a lot of rapport with the seller. And what I always love to do, this is from Chris Voss, is you summarize what they're saying in your own words. So they know that you're listening to them. That's the best way to build rapport. It's not talking about the fact that you both like the New York Jets or you both are from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, or whatever the case is. You want to actually label what they're saying in your own words. So it sounds like you're really stressed out about this. You inherited the property. You and your siblings are going through a rough time. Property's beat up. You don't know what to do with it. You can't afford to, make the tax payments. And it just seems like, you want to get rid of this so quickly and you want to get the cash so you don't have to worry about it again. And you summarize what they say. Oh, yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. So you're summarizing what they're saying, and then they understand that you're number one listening to them. And, that's subconsciously building rapport and like they feel like they're actually working with an expert. So summarize the scenario, get a kind of snapshot on where they're at with everything. And then the next step in that process is then we start talking about all the reasons why they don't want to sell or all the objections that might come up. And you want to, it's like, if you guys have seen the movie 8 Mile, at the end, Eminem like basically goes on the stage and starts like saying all the bad things that people said about him. So then the guy that he's rapping against like can't say anything because it's already been said. So you want to do that with all the objections. Hey, Mr. Seller, I mean, it's in a great area. It's in Scarsdale, $1 million houses around there. How come you don't want to just list this house on the market? Because in my area, that's the biggest deal killer. Like they're going to list the house. It's worth millions of dollars, right? So how come you don't want to list it? Why don't you just list this thing on the market and get top dollar for it? They're either going to confirm or correct you there. They're either going to say, well, I might do that if I don't like your offer, or I thought of that, but I don't really want to do that. Well, now there's another box. Now we got 5 boxes checked. There's, they don't want to list it now. And they have all the other criteria.
It sounds scary, like having this conversation with the seller, right? You're almost like kind of not really encouraging, but like opening that option. So it's like just thinking about it. It just kind of makes me like, man, that's going to be an interesting conversation. But it's the truth.
It's the truth.
Yeah,
it is.
That makes sense.
Because the thing is, if they're going to list the house, they're going to list the house. You want to find out right away. Like you don't want to like if they already kind of know what they want to do, their mind's already kind of made up when they're on the phone with you usually. So when you bring these things to the surface, you're able to have a productive call. And it is uncomfortable in the beginning, but I'm telling you, once you start doing this, it's going to be so much more productive for the phone calls. Oh, Bob Warburton's on the call. Bob, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man? We just chatted last week. Anyway, so you want to bring up all the deal because, well, how do you just keep the house? Why don't you just, fix it up yourself and throw a renter in there? You get 10 grand a month in rent, Scarsdale. We can't do that because that's another deal killer in my area. People know that the houses are gold and the rents are so high. So sometimes they'll just rent the house out. Or if it's a landlord, well, just get a better tenant. Your tenant's not treating you well. Just put a new tenant in there. Your cash flow, $300 a month. Why not? So you want to start to go through these objections and see what they think about these objections. Because if they start ruling out all these objections on their own, you're not going to have to overcome them because they're already getting overcome and we haven't made an offer yet. We wait till the very end to make an offer. So you want to start dealing with all the objections. Why don't you list it? Why don't you rent it? Hey, why don't you keep it? I mean, this is a gold mine. It's in Scarsdale. I'm just using Scarsdale as an example. It's in Scarsdale. It's a beautiful, beautiful area. You know, property values keep going up there by the month. Oh, I don't want to do that. I want to sell it. You know, so usually when you have a motivated seller, they're going to like rule out a lot of these objections for you. So you don't have to worry about them. Right. And then you've already discussed them. Because the last thing you want to do is like have a call with them, not ask about these objections, and okay, my offer's $780 for the house. Oh, there's no way I'm taking that. I'm just going to list it on the market with a realtor for $900. Well, if we found that out earlier, we'd kind of know where we're at, right? So let's say some of these objections are actually issues, like they might list it. So in that case, I'd be like, all right, well, if that's the case, Mr. Seller, I mean, I'd love to make you an offer on this house. We certainly can get you one, but it sounds like getting the most money is the most important thing for you. And you have no problem waiting 6 to 10 months to sell this house and get top dollar. And we're going to right there. That's called a stealth mismatch, as Todd Toback says. You're going negative. And at that point, they're either going to confirm you or they're going to correct you. And if they confirm you, you at least know where you're at. And if they correct you, they would start to sell themselves on why they actually want to sell you. Oh, well, I don't know. I want to try to avoid that if possible. I probably would take a little bit less for the house if I don't have to list it. And you kind of know where you're at with these objections.